Hello everybody, welcome to a Marvel Future Revolution video. Now I'm approaching the end of my Doctor Strange series, especially as I get the hero up past the 600k mark, as a lot of you know, and as well look to amplify some other stats. What do I have ambition wise for this hero? A lot still. I still have him as my main, and I would like to push that attack close to, at some stage, 17 to 18,000. Which is slightly possible. Just a few things need to kind of go right for me. It's very difficult if you're a free-to-play player to get that. But definitely more to HP, a little bit more with my defense, but a main push when it comes to the attack. There's also a lot of work I still need to do with my specialization. I would like to get better badges, but it's wishful thinking. Especially, we've got to wait for that new Blitz change to come in, and maybe that's going to be a possibility to acquire some of those rare 6 stars. I think especially with this one here with the defense improvements I'd like to get. There's also a decent attack one that I'd like to get as well. I think, is it that one there? Yeah, this one here. Now I do have like another badge, but anyway, that's by the by. That's not really the focus of this video. This video's focus is Omega cards. Now what are some of the best Omega cards for Doctor Strange? Okay, we've got a specialization video to come out about Doctor Strange. This one is all about badges. It's all about cards, Omega cards. Oh my god. It's been one of those days where I'm recording this on a day where I've had a lot of stress, and I'm like thinking to Richard, you just got to get to it, get through it. Okay, so under your collections, under Omega cards, you can see your various smorgasbord of cards. I should really show you my card selection first. So my card selection is all about improving attack and critical damage. Okay, that's to the big emphasis, but also some PvP damage. Do bear in mind as well, you'll get some rolled bonus stats for the hero that you have, and in particular, for me, I got very lucky with some pieces. This piece here is critical damage. This is a Red Skull 2010 issue 3. Now the set, which is important to me at the moment, is all about improving attack. So that is 2.2%. Critical damage in PvP damage increases 9.4%. PvP damage decreased 9.4%. It's handy to have something that's going to be PvP orientated as well, because that's the thing. When you reach the point to level 100, you've got to do PvP, even though the PvP is completely terrible when it comes to matchmaking and fair balance of stats versus stats on other players. The fact is you've got to do it. So you need some stats for improvement of that. And that's the way that I've built my Doctor Strange, is to have some builds in that, but also supervillain damage, which again is important because you end up facing against supervillains all the time. So that's kind of like how that is based, especially for blitzes and Dark Zone as well. I've got this other piece here, which is a solo piece, and it's got air to surface damage, which again is important because as Doctor Strange, you'll hit down at enemies, so because you'll hover. So it's handy to have that stat there as an exclusive stat. Got lucky with that one. Max damage rate, which I'm still kind of unsure about, but the main stat is 4.6% improvement with attack. And that's the kind of the thing with it. You have to really look at what is lacking with your Doctor Strange when you build him. I don't think you make him completely 100% defense centric, because it just means that, well, you're not on the front foot, and even though you will stay like you'll not take damage, you've got HP recovery from like health potions. So it kind of makes more sense to be more attack focused, and that's why I've built mine the way I have. Especially because when I got to level 100 and I was going to PvP, I was going like, I'm not doing any damage here. I need to have something of a boost. I got lucky with this piece here. I picked this up. I think I did a what did I do this? I think I just I went for an Omega card thing. I spent like 200 crystals. I just thought, oh, I'll go for it. I picked it up and I was like, hey, this is actually really helpful, especially because it was my first one to get like 5.9% attack, which is helpful. Bonus stat, PvP damage increase, supervillain damage decrease, and ultimate gauge recovery. Now, here's the thing, okay? Those stats are again very helpful to do better, but it doesn't help out with the set. It's just there as filler for the time being. I may keep it there for the main in the future, but I just don't know, because there's others that I am looking to acquire and look for. I've also got this other piece called Warriors 3, which is supervillain damage, improvements, max damage rate improvements, and ultimate gauge recovery. This set here, which is the Warriors 3 and What If Thor, are two filler pieces in my opinion. Okay, they're helping out with my attack, which you can see attack 4.6%, max damage 7.3, and cooldown decrease. Very helpful. If I want to spam in loads of those skills, then helpful is that the cooldown decreases. So it's helpful to kind of like, you know, shoot off stuff and I don't have to worry about the timers going down and my process of clicking on different things, the skills. But again, it's these two here are filler pieces. This I'm going to keep because this is Uncanny Avengers and goes in my set with Hydra with 2.2% PvP damage decrease, total damage, and 5.9% increased attack. So yeah, my main emphasis and build of my cards is attack orientated. And it did take time in order to get the right set that I wanted. And still, as I said, this is a kind of a holding type set. There's various different ones you can get from the ones that we're going to go over now. What are the best ones? And that's always a tricky one to say what is the best set to go for. Now, I personally don't like actually look. Well, I kind of like looking from this perspective. I actually like looking through collections. Some Dark Zone sets here, defense, HP, PvP decrease. It's helpful. There are some good pieces within here, but there are other ones that are slightly better, especially because this set doesn't really kind of speak much of like upfront damage. Dark Zone set 4. This one is a bit different because it has attack, and that's the thing. Different heroes will build different way. The Dark Zone sets, you'll kind of go, okay, well, am I building my hero the way that I'm building it? And once you get to like level 100, you may go, okay, well, I think I've got actually this card, the max damage rate, which again is okay. Critical rate 9.6. I mean, again, that's okay. It's going to mean that you're going to crit more frequently, but damage is very important. I think between critical rate and critical damage are two things that Doctor Strange is kind of low on, so it's kind of working towards that. That's kind of like a main thing. That's why a lot of the times you'll find Doctor Strange builds with like a critical damage. I mean, we could just have a quick look in the area of headquarters and see what other people are building with their Doctor Stranges, especially in the lobby area. I think it's always good to kind of click on other people and kind of find out what they're building as well, just so you kind of get like a further perspective. So we'll kind of have a look here. That's a new agent. Can we find somebody? There's a Doctor Strange there. Let's have a look. Well, this Doctor Strange and how they now this is this player is very high up, and as well has a lot of the Hydra Empire, which is a set that I personally would like. And you can see attack 20,000 and defense 13,000, HP 117,000. That's incredible. I think they possibly might be a spender, or they got very lucky. And their set, actually no, they probably a spender because this set looks like relatively good. But I could be wrong. This is actually a piece that I have and I will be taking up. It's called the Mighty Thor. And that's good to kind of mix it with the Midgardian. Now, some Doctor Strange players will have the Vote Loki set, but it's good to note that there's also somebody else that's kind of doing similar thing to me, where they've got a set here. I think this is part of the set here, Hydra Empire. It's a nice card, the Uncanny Avengers, which is I have as well. No, this is the piece that I'm referring to, the God of Thunder 13. That's the one there. There's a Kingpin one here, which goes in with the air surface damage. That's very good. And defense set, which comes in with, is it that one there? No. But air to surface damage seems to be very much a consistent build with it. As I said, it's always very interesting to find out where people are building their sets to, and as I said, like, people will build Doctor Strange around how they feels good. Very lucky with that air to surface damage stats, because then it's a lot of damage from top to bottom. So I personally would recommend doing attack centric, and the set personally that I'm going to be going for under Omega cards is a combination. I'm keeping the one under Hydra Empire, so I'm keeping those two. The critical damage one, which goes up to 28.7%, and then coupling that with my Uncanny Avengers, 7.2% attack. And then it will be a combination of Midgardia. So the next one I'll be looking to target would be from the set where it's, if I can find it, I probably skipped over it actually. There we go. I'll be going for Vote Loki because of the critical damage. Again, 17.35 addition, and that will be coupled with the one I've got here, this piece here, which is the God of Thunder 13. Because again, we part of the set first and foremost, part of the set. Secondly, attack, because then my set is built around that. There are a lot of other good sets for this, but it's just that Vote Loki, which is having that kind of Pop-up is so difficult, and it is very, very rare to do. So I'm going to be hunting for that one quite extensively. That's my plan for the build. But as I said, like what you might choose to do around your Doctor Strange is up to you. I would say attack-centric things or PvP builds may be more beneficial for you, especially as you get to a certain point. And you might kind of go like, hey, my potency when it comes to these situations needs to massively improve and ramp up. So do bear that in mind. I also hope there is one day where you can switch loadouts of your Omega cards, because at the end of the day, you might want to build something that's very PvP orientated and then one that's maybe more attack orientated. Because you do have to bear in mind that under every circumstance, and the way that that player built something around supervillain damage is that you do go into certain types of areas like Dark Zone. You also go into blitzes, and as blitzes get better, and also the way that we're going to be adding in new territories soon. So as a lot of you know, there's going to be a new territory added, which will mean that you'll have to go up against more supervillains. You're going up against more supervillains, you need more supervillain damage. So builds have to take into consideration a lot. This is why I've built mine very attack-centric, but also retain the fact that I need to also build some strength to battle supervillains, which adding an additional 3% supervillain damage to my already badges, which are supervillain damage orientated because they're maestro ones from blitzes, it's very important to consider that. That's why, you know, air to surface damage is important, as well as more supervillain damage with bonus stats. And these bonus stats are going to be important as well. I will stop working on Warriors 3 and as well Thor What If here, because I want to add in, fingers crossed, that Loki set, which I am hunting at the moment for. In any case, how would you build a Doctor Strange? Put it in the comments section, as some people may decide to actually build differently to Doctor Strange when it comes to PvP, supervillain damage, max damage rate, and so many others. So make sure to put it in the comments section. It might help out a fellow player, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.